Hey guys, so I made this video for fellow Invicta Intrinsic watch owners to help you set up your compass and calibrate it so that you can get an accurate compass reading. I've read a lot of comments online about people who were frustrated that the compass didn't seem to work at all, or that the hands weren't pointing towards north, and the instructions that they provide on the little fold-out pamphlet aren't exactly clear, so I thought this video might help. For additional instructions on how to adjust the various functions of the intrinsic watches, which are powered by the ISA 9012/7010 movement, you can go to the ISA website, which is isaswiss.com, and then look for the ISA digit series of movements and then the caliber number. They also have a little extra link next to the manual that goes through some of the extra functions that you'll see on this watch. So basically, first we'll do a quick run through of the various pushers on the watch that I'll be referring to in the video. This pusher here is what they refer to as push button A. This pusher here is push button B, and then this one here is push button C, and then obviously this is the main crown. The crown is used to cycle through the different functions on the watch, and you'll be able to see the different functions on the watch in the main display. Right now it says compass, but you'll see as I push it, it'll cycle through timer, yacht timer, tide function, and so on. When you get the watch, it'll probably be set to time zone 1, and here it's displaying the time zone that we're in, which is Eastern time, and then the digital time down here. Push button C, its main purpose is to light up the digital displays so that you can read it in the dark, and also to move the hands out of the way so that they're not covering up any of the digital displays. You can see the hour hand is kind of covering up part of the top display, and then the minute hand's cutting across this display over here. So watch as I push and hold, push and release this button, and it should move the hands out of the way and light up the display. The light is kind of subtle on this camera. So now we'll basically just push this crown here, time zone 2, time zone 3, time zone 4, alarm, chronograph, and now we're in compass mode. In compass mode, you'll see the bottom display now changes to the number of degrees on the compass reading, and then the hands will align themselves and then start pointing towards what the watch thinks is north. I've already calibrated this watch once, so it should be pointing to north as it is, but out of the box it was totally off and not really working. You could tell by rotating the watch the hands weren't aligning anywhere particular as you rotated it. So next we're going to go through how to set up and calibrate this compass. So for the calibration portion, basically what you do is you push B for a couple seconds, and when you do that, it will the displays will change into calibration mode, which you'll see. The first mode the first setting that comes up is the declination, and basically the declination is the difference in degrees between magnetic north and true north. This number of degrees changes based on the part of the Earth that you're on. There's some tools online that you can look up the exact declination angle for the part of the world that you're in. Basically, you'll enter that angle in. It'll be east or west, and then a number of degrees. And what this watch can do is then adjust for that difference so that the hands will point to true north, which is pretty neat. So let me get the hands out of the way first. Okay, I'm going to push button B for a couple seconds, and you're going to see declination. It says west, and then it says the number of degrees. So basically, you push button A, and that changes the number of degrees. So you see we're at west 11 right now, you can hold it down, it's going to cycle through, it's going to go up to about 40 and then it's going to switch over to east. You see now it says east over here and then 0 degrees. I'm actually at west 5, so we'll have to cycle back through. Okay, so now we've set up declination. To move to the next function, or the next part of the calibration, you push button B. You can see that the watch kicks out of calibration rather quickly, so you have to move along if you want to keep doing this process. But at this point, I'm going to bring in another tool that I found was very helpful in my setup. The watch has a built-in tool that helps you align the hands, and basically what it requires you to do is it requires you to rotate the case on a level surface as it tries to figure out and calibrate itself. So as you can see, the watch, I took off the bracelet. I recommend that you take off the bracelet or the strap because it needs to stay level and flat during the calibration process, and the case by itself, is much easier to keep level. Also, another thing that you're going to want to be concerned about is any magnets or magnetic fields that you're around. To get the best calibration, you want to be away from any sort of magnetic fields or strong magnets. So what I used was basically a plastic bottle cap. The bottle cap basically is used to help me rotate the watch smoothly. You can use a rotating disc of some sort or anything like that. You see it spins quite smoothly on its own when I have the closed end down. So basically I put that down, I put the watch on top, and it allows me to rotate it with less friction. So the next part of the setup, I need to go into the compass setting tool, and you'll see that on the next part of the video here. So this watch has a built-in calibration tool that will basically walk you through the calibration process itself. To do the calibration, they recommend that you are away from any magnetic objects, any electrical devices that are putting out electromagnetic energy or fields. Otherwise, it can throw the calibration off, obviously. Unfortunately, I've got this set up in front of my computer, which is not the ideal location, but if you could do this outside or in the middle of a big room, you'll probably get a better calibration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that bottle cap that I have, I'm going to set it down on the closed end down so that it spins freely, as you can see. What I'll do is I'll set the watch case on top of it so that I can also rotate that freely. I'm going to go into compass calibration mode by pushing button B for a couple seconds. It's going to ask me for declination first. I'm going to skip that by pushing B. It's going to say calibrate. Oh, you see it's kicked out already. Once the calibrate comes up, you have to push button A quickly so that it will start the calibration setup. So hit this, declination, skip that, calibrate. Now you'll see the hands align up to 12 and they start rotating. So basically you need to rotate the case to try and keep the hands at the top or pointed away from you, and keep rotating it until the watch determines that it's calibrated, and you'll be able to tell because the hands will move away automatically. May take a few rotations for it to figure it out. Okay, so now it thinks it's calibrated, and the hands are pointing to what it believes is true north. So just for comparison purposes, I've brought my iPhone which has a built-in compass as well. And we can see how the hands line up here. So to get the compass going, just push button A real quick and release it, and you'll see that the north here and the north here line up pretty well as I turn them around. Again, your calibration is going to be better if you can set it up or do the process away from any magnets. Anyway, I hope that's helpful for everyone. Again, if you have any other issues or want to look at the other functions, go to ISO's website and look at their online instruction manuals, which I think are a little bit clearer than the small fold-out sheet that came with the watch. All right, thanks for watching.